Everyone wants to be the chosen one until they realize what that actually means. It's not a blessing, it's a burden. Luke Skywalker didn't ask for the Force. Neo didn't want to be the one. Frodo would have been happy staying in the Shire. And yet, they stepped up. Because here's the truth. The story of the chosen one isn't about being gifted. It's about being tested. In our last video, we explored the 5 unusual and often difficult signs that you might be on a chosen one's path. We talked about the persistent feeling of being an outsider, the burden of seeing truths others ignore, the immense weight of a bigger mission, the emotional whiplash of attracting both loyalty and opposition, and the constant battle with crushing self-doubt. Recognizing those signs is a profound moment of self-awareness, but it immediately begs the most important question of all. Now what? Knowing you're on a difficult path doesn't make the path any less difficult. How do you actually handle these challenges without burning out? In this video, we're not just going to romanticize the myth. We're going to deconstruct it and then give you a real-life mental toolkit for carrying your own difficult purpose.
The chosen one myth exists in almost every major culture. But there's one part we rarely talk about: how incredibly heavy it is. Chosen ones almost always start out as outsiders, orphans, outcasts, quiet kids. They carry deep pain, and then someone says, "You're meant for more." But what does more really mean? More suffering? More responsibility? More isolation? You start to believe that your pain must mean something, that you're destined. But the moment you accept that role, your whole life changes. We've got 7 mental toolkits or solutions with different frameworks for a difficult purpose. The first one is for the first sign. Feeling like a perpetual outsider creates a deep sense of loneliness. To combat feeling like an outsider, the tool for this is build your council, not your crowd. The conventional solution is to try and fit in or find a bigger crowd. This framework argues for the exact opposite. Your goal is not to be understood by everyone. It is to be deeply understood by a vital few. You don't need a crowd. You need a council. A chosen one's council is a small, intentionally curated group of people who don't just tolerate your unique perspective, they value it. This council can be made up of 3 key archetypes. 1, the mentor, someone who has walked a similar path and is farther ahead. They don't give you answers, but they can ask the right questions and assure you that the challenges you face are normal. 2, the ally, a peer who is on a similar journey. This isn't a competitor, but a confidant. You can share struggles and victories with them because they are in the trenches with you. They fight the same kind of battles. And 3, the protege, someone you are helping who is a few steps behind you. Teaching what you know is one of the most powerful ways to solidify your own understanding and remind yourself how far you've come. It turns your lonely knowledge into a legacy. Stop measuring your belonging by your popularity in the crowd. Start measuring it by the quality of the conversation at your council fire. Seek out these people in niche online communities, at specialized workshops, or through direct, respectful outreach. One deep conversation with an ally is worth more than 1,000 superficial interactions with a crowd that doesn't get you.
And then for the second sign, which is being unable to unsee the truths or flaws of the world, feels like a heavy burden. It's a constant frustration that can lead to cynicism and despair. Actually, this sign asks you to perform a crucial mental shift. Stop seeing this vision as a weight that crushes you and start seeing it as a compass that guides you. That nagging dissatisfaction you feel is not a flaw in your personality, it is a guidance system. It is the most accurate tool you have for discovering your mission. The things that make you angry, that frustrate you, that break your heart, those are not random pains. They are signposts pointing directly at the work you are meant to do. Here's a practical exercise. Take out a journal and answer this question. What is the one truth I cannot unsee? What is the one problem that I wish someone would finally solve? Now answer a second question. What is the smallest, most microscopic action I could take today that moves the needle on that problem by just 1 millimeter?
If you're frustrated by misinformation, your action might be sharing one well-researched article. If you're bothered by waste, your action might be to set up a proper recycling bin in your home. The goal isn't to solve the whole problem at once. The goal is to align your actions with your compass. When you do that, the burden of your vision transforms into the energy of your mission. Remember this, pain often leads to purpose. But if you don't separate your identity from the burden, it consumes you. You are not your trauma. You are not your pressure. You are the one carrying those things, not being them. Then came the third solution, which is to shrink the mission to a micro-quest. In order to manage, you feel like there's a bigger mission. That feeling of having a bigger mission is inspiring, but it's also paralyzing. The sheer scale of it can be so overwhelming that it leads to inaction. The chosen one in the stories never thinks about saving the entire world all at once. They focus on the next step. Find the mentor, get the sword, cross the river. This framework is about applying that same focus. You must learn to separate your mission from your quest. Your mission is the huge ultimate goal, your why. Your quest is the specific actionable project you're working on right now. And even more granularly, your micro-quest is the single task you need to do today. Let's make this practical. Your mission might be to create art that inspires empathy. That's huge and beautiful, but you can't do that today. Your quest for this month might be to complete one painting for my new series. Better, but still big. Your micro-quest for today is sketch for 15 minutes or mix the blue paints.
By shrinking the mission to a micro-quest, you make your purpose manageable. You defeat overwhelm and build momentum, one tiny heroic step at a time. The grand mission will be completed not by a single leap, but by the sum of 1,000 courageous micro-quests. Ask yourself these 3 questions. Does this task align with my mission, my peace, my future self? One more thing is that chosen ones often have one task, and the world tries to distract them. In real life, that means learning to say no, to be misunderstood, and to do deep work even when no one claps. For the fourth tool is to filter the signal from the noise, to endure attracting loyalty and opposition. The fourth sign, attracting extreme reactions, is an emotional roller coaster. The praise can inflate your ego, and the opposition can crush your spirit. To survive, you must stop listening to the volume of the reactions and start filtering for the signal within the noise. Noise is the purely emotional, non-specific feedback. From the opposition, noise is the personal attacks, the insults, the dismissal of your character. From your loyalists, noise is the blind praise, the comments that just say, "You're a genius." Well, nice to hear, neither of these helps you improve. Signal, on the other hand, is the specific, useful data. It's the hidden diamond of insight. And signal can come from both sides. From your opposition, the signal is the intelligent, specific critique. Is there a flaw in your argument they correctly identified? Is there a valid counterpoint you hadn't considered? A wise enemy is a better teacher than a blind follower. Your job is to ignore their tone and extract their logic. From your loyalists, the signal is the specific reason why your work resonates. When someone says, "The way you explained cognitive dissonance finally made it click for me," that is a powerful signal telling you what you are doing right. That is what you must double down on. Treat all feedback like a scientist. Create a mental sieve. Let the emotional noise, both positive and negative, wash away. Keep only the glowing particles of specific, actionable signal. This is how you use external reactions to grow without letting them control you.
Move to the fifth tool, which is to treat doubt as a data point, not a verdict, in order to overcome the weight of crushing self-doubt. Finally, we face the biggest monster of all, imposter syndrome. That internal voice whispering, "You're a fraud." Our instinct is to either fight this voice or surrender to it. This framework offers a third option, which is to interview it. Your doubt is not a verdict on your worth. It is a data point, highlighting a perceived gap in your abilities. It feels like an enemy, but you can turn it into your most ruthless and effective private tutor. When that voice of doubt emerges, don't let it just be a vague feeling of dread. Interrogate it with specific questions. When the voice says, "You're not a good enough writer," you ask back, specifically, "What about my writing is weak? Is it my sentence structure, my storytelling, my research?" When the voice says, "You're going to fail," you ask back, specifically, "What is the most likely point of failure, and what is one small thing I can do to strengthen that weak point right now?" This process transforms a paralyzing emotional fear into a clear, logical action plan. It turns "I'm a fraud" into "I need to improve my research skills." It turns "I'm not ready" into "Here is a list of things I need to learn to become ready." You strip the doubt of its emotional power and turn it into a practical to-do list. The doubt is not there to stop you. It is there to show you exactly what you need to work on.
There are also other aspects to consider, such as you feel like there's a call for you to do something. We don't talk about sacred calling here, but more like a feeling of you wanting to do something different from other, or to achieve your dream life that other people think is impossible. So you just brush it off because you are afraid or think that you really cannot achieve them. And the tool here to combat this is to think again and just accept it, but quietly. In every myth, the hero denies the call. "Not me. I'm not ready. Pick someone else." That's normal. What matters is they say yes anyway. But here's the trick. Say yes without making noise. You don't have to post about it. You don't have to prove it to anyone. Just take the first small step in secret. If you want to write a book, just write 1 page. Don't announce it. Want to change careers? Learn in silence. The chosen one doesn't start by saving the world. They start by showing up.
Now we've to our last tool. You can get lost anytime. So the tool you can use here is to consider finding your mentor archetype. Every chosen one has a guide. Obi-Wan, Gandalf, Dumbledore, Morpheus. But in real life, mentors aren't magical. They're human. And sometimes they're books, podcasts, or just voices from history. The hero becomes the hero by choosing their teachers. For the modern chosen one, here's the uncomfortable truth. No one will hand you a sword. No owl will bring you a letter. No prophecy will name you. But if you've felt pain, if you've wrestled with something bigger than yourself, if you've ever thought, "Why me?" then maybe you've already been chosen. Not by fate, not by the universe, but by the fire inside you that refuses to go out. To sum up, these are the 7, and they are building your council, not your crowd, treating your vision as a compass, shrinking the mission to a micro-quest, filtering the signal from the noise, treating doubt as a data point, not a verdict, accepting the calling, but quietly. And lastly is finding your mentor archetype. These toolkits you need to not just endure the journey, but to become stronger because of it. If this resonated, don't just think about it, act. Choose one of these tools and try it today. If you're walking the hard road, you're probably on the right path. Welcome, hero.
Enjoyed the video? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.